OMAR ISUF here, and welcome to another edition of OMAR Answers Your Questions, another Q&A video from my Facebook fan page. I took a look at all the questions you guys asked me, and I whittled them down to the select few that I really feel could benefit the most of you. And in today's video, I'm going to give you answers to those questions. Clear, concise answers. So without further ado, without any more yip yap, let's get right to it. Here's a question: how can you tell if it's overtraining or just DOMS, delayed onset of muscle soreness? Well, understand that DOMS, delayed onset of muscle soreness, and overtraining are not actually necessarily related. You see, DOMS occurs usually when you accrue too much metabolic damage. This could be because you train too much, you overworked your current amount, your current exercise capacity, so you're going to be sore for the next couple days. It's not a good indicator whether or not you're overtraining. And when we talk about overtraining, really what we should talk about is under recovery, because most guys just don't plan their programming well. What happens is you go too hard, too fast, and you end up tired and fatigued. And the signs of overtraining or under recovering is when you feel fatigued, you don't get proper sleep, you feel maybe unmotivated, slightly depressed, your lifts in the gym are going down. Those are signs that you need to reevaluate your programming, get more recovery, so get more sleep, eat more nutritious foods, focus on relaxing parasympathetic recovery. That's a sign of overtraining and what you should do. So it's fundamentally different than just DOMS. Yo, Omar, why can't you grow your calves? Well, motherfucker, who said I want to grow my calves? Yeah, you shook, aren't you? Yo, Omar, what's up? I have instability. Okay, instability. It's all good. Doesn't matter, man. While overhead pressing. So he has instability while he's overhead pressing, which probably means he's shaking like a leaf as he's pressing. So what this really is, two things. Lack of core tightness. So remember, you want that total body tension. So you want to brace your core, big belly breath, 3D diaphragm, expand, squeeze your glutes and your quads when you're about to press. You have a stable base to press off of. Think you're like a tree. You don't move. You're pressing overhead. The second important factor is the fact that a lot of people don't have thoracic mid-back mobility and proper shoulder mobility, so to assist in the overhead press, you'll tend to lean back. And when you're using heavy weight, then you'll be unstable and you'll tend to shake. So you want to focus on mid-back stability, shoulder stability, and keeping that core tight and your booty boy. Like you're going to prison. Alright. Too much info or not enough info? You know what I mean? We got a question from a Buff Army member that is especially zealous. Shout out to Shane. Man, I'm going to say your last name wrong. Apologies. Shaver. He wants to know, what are my top 3 accessory movements for the squat? Great question, brother. It entirely depends upon what type of squat you're performing and where you're weak. But I'll give you general advice. We'll start with the high bar and then go to the low bar. For the high bar, because it's more quad dominant, you got to focus on the vertical spine. We want to do some front squats, we want to do some goblet squats, and we want to focus on ab work, because if your abs aren't strong enough, you're going to lean forward as you're trying to come up. So the core assists in keeping that vertical spine, taking the load away from your lower back. If we talk about the low bar, then because it's more posterior chain dominant, you're shooting the hips out, the shins remain essentially vertical, we want to focus more on the booty, right? So we want to do some good mornings. I'm not going to recommend box squats. I'll say glute ham raise and reverse hypers. Anything that really involves your posterior chain, so good mornings would be my #1 pick. Glute ham raise is a great other exercise. And let's go with the reverse hyper. Why don't you let your hair fly in the wind when you deadlift? Well, because there's no wind in my gym when I deadlift. But if I was on a mountain deadlifting, then I'd just go au naturel, Samson style, and let the mane flow. But I'm in the gym. How long should one's workout be? General question, hard to answer, depends upon your work capacity and a million other factors. What are you currently training for? How many times are you training per week? With that being said, the #1 indicator of when you should leave the gym is when performance starts to suffer. When you start to feel unmotivated, the sets get too heavy, your performance, as I said, dips, you start to dilly-dally a little too much. These are all signs that the energy you had for that day, it's gone. It has left the building. The money's gone, kid. Where does your philosophy, athletic, aesthetic originate from? Well, first of all, guys, understand that I didn't create athletic aesthetic. It's been around long before me. I'm just popularizing it on YouTube. But it resonated with me after reading, first it probably was Christian Thibodeau who has talked about it, but then if we go back to the Eastern Bloc and a lot of those Russian authors, where in the West we seem to be more focused with aesthetics, how our body always looks, bodybuilders, right? But in the East they're kind of focused more on performance, and what they notice in a lot of, you know, athletes that we're talking about, sprinters, Olympic lifters, and gymnasts, where they're very athletic focused, but their bodies look great. What attracted me to this approach is that there's some end benefit to developing a great body. You don't just look like you can do something, you actually can do something with that body. I have a sports background where I played a lot of sports growing up. And I always would admire those individuals that would look powerful, right? Who are very fast, who could do something with their body. To me, that is a more holistic, balanced, worthier goal to have. Wow. That's the Q&A, guys. That's a lot of content and very little time. That's how we do it around here. If you have more questions, make sure you're on my Facebook fan page. That's where all the cool stuff goes down. But alas, we have run out of time, my friends. That was the video. Thank you for your support. If you liked the video, make sure to like this video. And if you're not a subscriber, once again, you just spent like 5-6 minutes watching a lot of informative content and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know if I should subscribe. The hell with you! Forget you! Okay, I'm gonna talk to my zealous army because you know you should be subscribed. Zealous army, I'll be seeing all you guys in the next video. Stay strong.